Thank you for stopping by. Do you know how much management you need to do in your life? In fact, let me rephrase it. Do you realize that management is the most important skill that you need for successful living? You know, I was sitting and thinking, okay, I did a Bachelor of Business Administration degree and I'm a teacher in my everyday life. And there was a time when I thought maybe it was all a waste because after doing that whole degree, I've never worked in the field, and so what was the point? And then I realized after a while that, the management skills that I learned are applying in my life like every day. And I'm making use of them without realizing. I'll just show you. You know that you have to, let me start by defining management. The role of a manager. They lead, they organize, they plan, they coordinate. In no order. This is not in order of priority. But those are the four main activities of a manager. They lead, they plan, they coordinate, they organize. And you are always doing that. Any person, we are all leaders. If you have children, you're a leader. If you're born with siblings, you're a leader. Your own life needs you to lead it. Plan, organize, coordinate. So much management. I'll show you. Honestly, I never realized it, and I'm just so mind blown, and I want to share this with you. And I hope that you're also going to take it and start living that management lifestyle deliberately. Because anything that you don't manage, you are wasting. If you don't manage it, if you don't handle it properly, if you don't organize around it, if you don't plan around it, you're wasting. You're living a wasteful life. Number one, you have to manage your finances. How much of us realize that if you don't control your spending, you are going to constantly be in financial trouble? It's not something that I'm prophesying. It's a matter of fact. There's some people who don't know that they must control their spending. So as long as they have money, they go shopping. And any little amount, there's this thing that I saw on Instagram that says, any little change, not enjoyment. So any small money they get, not enjoyment. They just go for it and they spend. But you don't realize how much you could have done better if you could just slow down, think, plan, organize, coordinate. Okay, this is what I need right now. I'll make sure then that I use my money on this. I'm going to wait on the other things. I don't want to give specifics, then people are going to feel attacked. But sometimes I worry when I see somebody wearing an expensive hairstyle, but their job is not such a high-paying job, which means that they've taken a bulk of what they earn just to look good. And I think that's a mismatch of investment. You could invest differently. And then manage your time. Time is a very powerful resource when used effectively. The more I've been realizing that, the more I've begun to live a little more circumspectly. That's the word. Circumspectly. I'm beginning to realize that if I allow time to waste, this whole business of I want to rest, you're always resting, you're in rest mode. The more you rest, the more time is slipping by and you cannot account for it. I'm not saying we should work and work and work even when we're tired, but sometimes we prioritize rest so much that it's like most of our life is consisted of rest. I know one man who said that God worked for 6 days and rested one, and there's a group of younger people who think that life is just too tiring, so they rest for 6 days and work on one. That is waste. That is waste. Manage your time. Even the Bible says, redeem the time, for the days are evil. Walk as wise, not as fools. So I've begun to realize that time is a very, very important commodity, and because you don't have the power to slow it down, to pause or to stop it, you've got to manage. Plan, organize, lead yourself to work. Do what needs to. Even Jesus says that we will work while it is day, because night comes and then we can no longer work. So being aware that there'll come a time when even if you want to work, you may not be able to work. Redeem the time. Redeem the time. Value every minute, because there is a potential in there. Every moment for me is a seed that when you cultivate well, you will receive something from. You will reap something from. So manage your time. That one is important. Management of our thoughts. And somebody said, thoughts are things. Thoughts are things. They just fly around. They just come and go in our minds, and we're constantly thinking something. However, if you are going to be a productive human being and a growing human being, not just growing chronologically, but maturing, growing in all other aspects of life, growing socially, financially, materially, mentally, in what other aspects, emotionally, other aspects, all the other alleys of life, you will have to manage your thoughts. Entertain only those that you know they have a power to multiply you. Because any thought comes, they say it's like birds, how they perch on a tree. They just don't decide, now I'm going to perch on the green one, the brown one, the yellow one. They just perch. They perch and they perch and they perch and they fly away. They perch on another one, they fly. That's what thoughts are. Every single day, there's thousands of thoughts flying across our heads. And if we don't deliberately and intentionally and purposefully manage our thought processes, we are going to be busy thinking but not producing. So manage your thoughts. How? Any thought that perches on your mind, you have the power to decide, do I entertain it? Do I let it breed and make a nest? Remember I said thoughts are like birds. So if a bird sits on your head, it's up to you to whether you're going to stand still and let it build a nest and let it be comfortable, or whether it brought a little piece of food and it's going to sit on your head and eat its food. It's up to you. Or you can decide that you don't want any birds that perch on your head, so you keep busy. Keep busy. As long as you're busy, there's no bird that will sit on you. So as long as you're busy, there are no idle thoughts that are going to sit on you. So manage your thoughts. Control your thought processes. I know that when I was a kid, I laugh when I think about this, but back then it was quite a serious challenge. I could imagine something and sit and continue in that thought until I was crying. Especially when my mother used to travel a lot, and so sometimes I'd miss her so much, I'd begin to imagine what life would be if she had died, and I would even begin to cry as if she had died, and why? Just because I was missing her. I was entertaining thoughts that maybe I'll never see her again, maybe that something's going to happen to her while she's away, and then that'll be the end. Then I'll be an orphan, and I just go on and on in that train of thought until I was really sad and crying. That's very funny, but that's just one random example. Other people entertain thoughts of suicide and sadness, depression. It starts with the thought process. No, this one doesn't like me, that one doesn't like me too. Oh, I'm a bad person, they all hate me, I'm unlovable. Oh yeah, I don't deserve to be in this world. Maybe I should find a way out. They will be better off without me. It's all thought processes. Until you reach the stage where now your thoughts are compulsive and you need medication to slow you down from thinking. But the starting point is usually us entertaining thought processes until our body chemistry goes out of balance. And now we need medication to rebalance and to keep us stable. That is an unfortunate situation. Manage your thought processes. Manage your thoughts. And then management of relationships. Hey, this one is very key. I know people who don't want to have friends, don't want to talk to anyone because they are failing to manage. And so because they fail to manage, they feel that when they meet people and connect with people, then they find that there's something that goes wrong. Maybe it's a waste of time. maybe it's a waste of what. They end up with quarrels about gossip, or somebody comes into your life who just wants to squander you. Anytime you make friends, you find that you have met a squanderer. They just want to take and take and take from you. Maybe what you need is not to isolate yourself, but to engage some management. Management means telling a friend, no friend, I can't spend time with you. I will, however, meet you for an hour on Saturday afternoon. That's management. You are controlling how much time and how much access they have to you and your world. Even relatives need to be managed. Because relatives, they feel like they own you. You are their child, no matter how old you grow, and they just show up at your door just when you're about to open your Bible and study, or a book to read, and there is Uncle Darling. Just sit and chat and find out how life is. And they feel that they really have a right. It's their responsibility to check on you. But they don't realize that you were planning to do something else. So you communicate it. That's management now. Coordinating. Malume, next time you want to come, let me know. There's a place I want to go to. I might be away. I don't want you to come and find that there's no one at home. Management skill. Make them realize that it's necessary to give you a little heads up. Say, I'm going to show up at your house. Well, I thank God for where I stay. If you come into my gate, you might end up there for the whole day if I'm not expecting you. We don't even have intercom that tells you that someone's at your gate. You know? And if by chance you are at my gate and I am not ready to meet you, well, I can easily say I'm not around. You are not looking at my window to see that, oh yeah, she's there. You know, because sometimes you are really in the middle of something and it's pressing for you. Like I am an author. I'm always working on a manuscript. And I work only on those moments when my mind is very productive, because then I know I'm going to produce something that's authentic. Now, if I'm in that moment and I'm busy typing away, and then suddenly somebody wants to show up just to spend time, that can cause some irritation to my spirit, some restlessness, because I wanted to do this. So I thank God that I think the area of relationships where I stay has managed that one for me. Not that I'm a people's person that much. I talk to people, I love people, but I have set limits around me that it's not just anyone who can just visit me at home. Even my neighbors, they know when my door is closed, it means I'm inaccessible. They know to check, okay? But we greet every day, we talk every day, but we have set beautiful limits. That's management. If I'm not availing myself, they don't take it that I'm ignoring them and I'm avoiding them. They understand. I have even had to explain that no, I'm not antisocial. It's just that sometimes I have a lot on my plate. Because whatever, if people invite me, they expect something from me. Now, if I'm going to spend a lot of time chatting and not researching, not praying to hear the voice of God about the next appointment, then those people will come with expectant hearts and they won't receive much, because I didn't spend time connecting to the source. I have explained that. That is part of management. Explain yourself so that those who relate with you understand your rhythm and how you flow and how things go around you. It doesn't cause quarrels. No. Quarrels only come when you avoid people. They call you, you don't answer, you don't call back, because you were busy. But if you explain, they know. I know there's friends of mine who know that if while we are still talking, certain people who are important in my life, people I cannot keep waiting on a call. If I see that Bishop so-and-so is calling, or Prophet so-and-so, Prophetess so-and-so, my mentors, my mothers, my pastors, if they call while I'm on a casual chat with a friend, I hang up. I hang up. My friend knows. I just go, bye phone. I need to talk to someone. And I hang up. I will call later to say, no, something had come up. This was the situation. They know. Now we know you meet important people. Some people whom you don't just call, and when they call, there's something serious that needs to happen, and you avail yourself. So relationships need to be managed. Even relationships with our children need to be managed, especially our children. Sometimes our children feel like they are the center of our existence. I know my kids think that. They're like, okay, if they visit on a weekend, they're away on a weekend visiting. When they come back, they're like, how was life without us? I say, well, life was good. Life was good. How much did you miss us? I said, baby, I love you, but they have assumed that every morning they are the rhythm and the pulse of my life, and if they are not there, then it means that I'm missing out on something, and I'm lonely, and I'm maybe even crying. I think it's nice that I've made them feel so special. Every child needs to be special, but the relationship with our children needs to be managed. They cannot play until whenever they want, and come home whenever they want to, and leave or even come to your room as and when they think of it. No, there's a time when they must just sit in their room, watch TV, do something. I need to do something here. Give me the space. And it's done in love. In love. No one is fighting anyone. If you instill that in them, soon enough, they'll know to give you space. They'll know to give you space. So relationships need to be managed. That is very important. Because sometimes we feel that we want to end up avoiding people and living lonely lives because we have not been good at managing the relationships around us. And there are some people who want us to be involved in all their events. They also need to be managed. Someone who likes to call me, come and do a poem. I have a birthday for my whatever year old. Okay, it's your birthday, I come. And now all their relatives, entire family, the same person wants me to attend everything. I then had to explain, no, this date won't be possible. You kill no one when you say no. In fact, it's a beautiful, healthy thing for any relationship. Say no when you cannot, rather than saying yes and then going there with a heavy heart. Because then they begin to catch a vibe and they assume that you're no longer happy to be their friend or to relate with them. But if you tell them politely and explain clearly that no, there is a place I need to go to on this very day, and I already accepted, therefore I'm not able to cancel. I'm really sorry. I would have loved to come, but I'm not able to make it. You kill no one. It's a very redeeming statement. And then number 5, resources. Resources need to be managed. Whether it's your mental resources, your emotional resources, your financial resources, all your resources, anything that you consider as a resource, it needs to be managed. If you don't manage, you are living in waste. So manage your emotional resources. Have you ever felt that you are spent? You are totally drained and empty, and you are blaming the people around you. Maybe it's your fault. You did not manage. Because if people want to pour from you, they will pour because they enjoy pouring, and they receive when they pour from you. But if you don't control how much, okay, let's just compare donating blood. Donating blood is a good thing. But if you donate blood every day, you'll soon be dead. See, it's like that with people who draw from us. Some people draw love, others draw wisdom, others draw counsel. If you just open yourself to the world to draw and draw and draw, and you don't limit access so that you are only giving out when you have, you will soon be drained, empty, and bitter. And I know people who are bitter with the church because they availed themselves, and the church is a receiving organization. We receive your gifts, we receive your time, we receive your love. But when you have nothing to give, don't avail yourself. Rather, withdraw like Jesus. He withdrew every morning to fill up, so that when he came back again, he had something to offer. So limit, control, organize around so that, okay, instead of me giving one person at a time, how about I organize a group? Because if people have similar situations, if you are counseling someone with financial problems in the morning, an hour later another one comes, financial problem. 2 hours later another one comes, financial. How about organizing a financial training conference? Because then you realize that you are giving advice on a one-on-one basis, but it's the same things. So in order to control your resources, then make a big conference, then a whole big group attends, and you share the same wisdom with all of them at the same time. Organization, coordinating. That one will leave you healthier, because then you have given the same resource to many rather than giving the same resource for the whole day, for a whole week. You're receiving appointment after appointment for similar things. Therefore, it means that when you notice there are others among these financial situations, there's this one person who has a particular situation that's different. That one will have to make an appointment. Now you are limiting the appointments you get for general questions. That is coordinating, that is leading, that is planning. Any resource that you have needs to be managed. So management is a core life skill. That's what I realized. And I wish that even our society could realize that and begin to teach us management. Because if you don't manage, you're wasting. Maybe even our government employees, they are wasting because nobody taught them management skills, basic management skills. And then the last one, lifestyle. Manage your lifestyle. I know that when I started doing this public ministry, I like to call myself a minister because I go to different places and I speak to different groups of people about different topics. Sometimes I'm just performing a poem, for the occasion as a guest artist. Sometimes I'm a guest speaker, and then I'm also a teacher. There's always a demand for us to look a certain way and to be a certain standard of life. And I realized that if I don't control that, I'm going to live in debt. I'm going to die and leave nothing for my children. And therefore, I realized that even the lifestyle needs to be managed. Manage your lifestyle. Prioritize. There's no need to go and live in an expensive suburb in a rental and look like you are making it when you're not. But you can plan and save money and, don't buy expensive outfits all the time. There's a way to look nice and classy without breaking the bank. I realized that. I was like, okay, why haven't I noticed this before? And the moment I noticed that, then I started living that way. Plan. Do the best that you put your best investments in the places where it's needed the most. For me, really, you'll forgive me if I show up at your event and I'm not looking as expensive as you wanted me to look. I have children who have to go to school. I have bills that I've got to pay. And I cannot invest so much on showing up looking $1 million all the time. I need to manage my lifestyle. So I'm learning now to just play around with my outfits. Coordinate, change accessories, change this, change that, mix it up. Even go and alter the same outfit. If it was long, make it shorter, wear it. It looks different. I'm learning to be a bit more wiser about my lifestyle than I was before. And so let's just go back, and if you have never had any management skill, you never have. For me, I realized after I had done my management degree that actually I need management for everyday life. So if you are one of those people who never had exposure to management, maybe you can start by reading on the internet. There's always something on management. That's how basic it is. There's always something. Time management, managing the relationships around you, managing your resources. Don't be so drained that you die of suicide. Suicide is one way of people who escape life because they are drained and empty. And they feel so empty that there's no hope for life. And they just check out. I know there are other circumstances that are grave and deeper that cannot just be explained in one sentence. But I believe that many of these situations are
because someone was drained and they did not manage their resources. So their soul was crying out and they were so empty and so tired, so much in pain that they couldn't see anything beyond.